Hello, welcome to lesson one of my music theory course. So, this course, I wrote the entire curriculum myself, and then I planned out all the lessons myself, and I planned out the units myself. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty chill, and I'm not. It is a pretty hard course, um, and yeah, this is the first lesson of it of the first unit, and I mean my qualifications. Uh, I know ABRSM Grade 8 Music Theory. I know AP Music Theory, and I also am a composer myself, and I've written lots of pieces, so I have a lot of experience with music theory as a whole. And I wouldn't say it's easy, but you'll get the hang of it. So yeah, and once you learn it, I mean, it's pretty useful if you want to like be better at your instrument or just be a better musician and more musical as a whole. It's pretty good. So anyway, um, this is the first lesson. It's about intervals, scales, and the circle of fifths. So, in the basis of music theory, well, I wouldn't say the basis, but all of these are just the basis of music theory, and you need to know all of this in order to understand music theory as a whole. So, intervals. If you don't know intervals, you need to memorize at least these intervals. If you don't memorize these intervals, you're not gonna be able to understand music theory as a whole. And so, um, yeah, just know these intervals. So basically, we part of the preliminary knowledge you should know about music theory is a half step is the smallest interval in Western music, and a whole step is the largest interval. And so the intervals are a minor second, a major second, a minor third, a major third, a perfect fourth, a tritone, a perfect fifth, a minor sixth, a major sixth, a minor seventh, a major seventh, and then an octave. And then afterwards you can keep on going. That's the second octave. And so all of these intervals increase by a half step, and that's their names. These are the names of the intervals. So, I do have my piano here. It's an electric piano. It's a keyboard actually, but I mean I can play it. So, say we're in this key of C minor, C major. So, you can do a minor second, a major second, a minor third, a major third, a perfect fourth, a tritone, a perfect fifth, a minor sixth, a major sixth, a minor seventh, a major seventh, and an octave. Sorry, I played that wrong. And then this is the second octave. All of these are the same interval. You just add 7 onto it. And so, I'm going to linger on here for a bit more because you really should memorize these intervals. I memorized it over time by just composing a lot and then other activities and musical activities that I do. But yeah, you need to understand and know all these intervals. If you don't, then well, yeah. And then you should also be able to recognize them on a page. Like a minor six is like, if you understand the keys, I think it should be pretty easy. Like a minor sixth in C minor is just a minor sixth from C is like in the key of C minor. This like a major sixth is A, but in the key of C minor, the A is flat, so it's C and A flat. But you know, just also know that the minor version is typically like the one that's lowered. And then the terms I'm going to use are augmented and diminished. So augmented means that you raise it by a half step. Diminished means that you lower it by a half step. That's why a tritone can have multiple different names, because a tritone is for the key of C, it's F sharp. So an augmented fourth is a raised fourth by a half step. The fourth is F, so it's raised, it's F sharp. But also a diminished fifth is fifth lowered by a half step, so it's G, then it's an F sharp. So technically a tritone, those two are enharmonically the same, but they vary based on theory wise. You'll see in the future. Typically these names are based on context. And then also enharmonic. Enharmonic means like musically the same, like B flat and A sharp. Those are the same thing. So yeah. But anyway, just know all these intervals. They're gonna be pretty important like immediately. So scales. You should already pretty much know this. This is okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, all of this should be review. Like, these should all be review. But a major scale, you have C major, That's the W. So whole half whole half. So that's the interval. So like those are the intervals of the scale. You don't really need to memorize that. I mean, I think we should all know what a major scale is. But there are different types of minor scales. So there are three different types of minor scales. So there's the natural minor. This is the actual minor. Like in the key signature, this is the actual minor. Just I personally like minors a lot. Sorry, wait that. Don't take this out of context. Oh, I like minor scales a lot. But yeah, that's the interval for the minors: whole, half, whole, half, whole. And then you have the melodic minor. So melodic minor is definitely the most complex one. You have ascending. It's a different scale. It's whole, half, whole, half. And then descending, it's just a natural minor. And then basically you have a raised sixth and seventh interval. So remember back, a sixth and seventh interval. You know, the sixth of C is A. And then the seventh of C is B. Or if you want to talk about minor seventh, sixth, then it's an A flat, and a minor seventh is a B flat. But immediately the interval is coming, and then so yeah, this is a melodic minor. This is a pretty important one. Like if you're an orchestra, that's the minor scale you learn, and then also like this is the most common scale you'll see in actual classical music. I know Beethoven used it a lot, and then same for everyone who followed him. Yeah. So this is the melodic minor. So yeah, it's very I mean not complex. Sorry. On the way up, you can hear the shift. You know, it's also hard to sing because you gotta make that change and also play. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, harmonic minor. So harmonic minor is another really common one. Some composers love to use it because, like Shostakovich. But also, if you play piano, this is gonna be the scale that you learn. And then it's just a raised seventh. I wrote big jump here. It's really just a minor third. I don't know why I wrote a big jump. Actually, I do know why. It's because when I was making this, I didn't put I forgot to put intervals, and then I was thinking like, well, they haven't learned intervals yet, so yeah. Um, but yeah, it's a big jump. That's just a minor third. So for example, in C minor, C harmonic minor, it's so yeah, you know, it has that oriental sound, and then for big jump, it's just a minor third, and then you have a raised seventh, which is a B, B flat to a B natural. So yeah, but yeah, those are the scales. Those are the main scales you should know. We'll definitely talk about more scales later. There are different modes, like a Lydian mode and an Aeolian mode, and then a mixed Lydian mode, stuff like that. But yeah, just know those scales. Like I said, this should all be reviewed. Like you should already know all of this stuff, but just in case you don't, here it is. Anyway, um, so when you're looking at minors and majors, basically a minor scale is enharmonically three below a major. So it's a minor third below a major. So basically, if you have C major, the minor third below C major is the minor third below C is A. So that's A minor. So they're enharmonic, which enharmonic. We're basically A minor and C major both have O naturals. They don't have any accidentals at all. And so basically, then you have C minor. Also, if you want to go from minor to major, it's a major third up. So like, E flat is a um, it's a minor third up. So basically, like C minor is the minor third of C minor is E flat. So a minor third up, that's E flat major. Like I said, those C minor and E flat major both have three flats, three accidentals. Yeah, that's just it's kind of like a helping way to help you know what minors are, like what minor keys, like, because I know a lot of people don't have it memorized. I have it all memorized, but you don't need to typically. And then also just as a tip, if you're looking at music and then you're like asked what key it is in and you can't tell if it's a minor or major, just know that well, we all know that like typically pieces either start with the dominant or the tonic of the key. So say for example you're looking at a score, it has all naturals. So you're deciding if it's between A minor or C major. If it starts on A, then it's probably an A major. Same if it ends on A too. And then also if it has a lot of accidentals. we literally saw earlier that minor keys typically have a lot of accidentals. You have a raised 6th and 7th interval, and then you also have a raised 7th for harmonic minors. And so typically if you have accidentals, then it's most likely a minor. But that's only for simple music. I mean, you can have accidentals in any music, especially major modes when you're modulating, which we'll get into later. But yeah. Okay, so this is it's pretty important. Well, not important, but it'll be very helpful if you have all the keys memorized. So this is purely for major keys. We're not in minors anymore. We're talking about major keys. And so basically, um, we have the line of fifths. So the line of fifths is just the circle fifths. It's the same thing, but I think it's easier when you visualize it as a line first before you turn it into a whole circle, because the circle fifths is quite hard to um, visualize. But I have the next line is the circle fifths here. But anyway, the line of fifths. So at the center you have C. It has 0 sharp, 0 flats. C major, 0 sharp, 0 flats. So when you go to the right, well, how I formatted it here is when you go to the right, you increase in the number of sharps. When you go to the left, you increase in the number of flats. So it's called the line of fifths because the key that as you increase sharps, you add a fifth to it, for like C to G. You increase a fifth, and then you increase a fifth from G, G to D, D to A to E to B, and B to F sharp, and so on. And you just keep on stacking fifths onward and onward, and that's how you increase the sharps. And you know this because, well, G major has 1 sharp, D major has 2 sharps, A major has 3 sharps, E major has 4 sharps, B major has 5 sharps, F sharp major has 6 sharps, and C sharp major has 7 sharps. Flat wise, you decrease. Technically, okay, this is when you can start to see it's a circle, because technically it goes from here and then it loops back around over here. So you technically keep on stacking fifths. But you could, when you're going to the left, you're technically decreasing in fourths. So like C to F, that's a fourth. Wait, sorry, I start from the top. Wait, sorry, not decreasing fourths. You're decreasing in fifths. You're still in the fifths. You're decreasing by fifths. Then F to B flat. So C to F, F to B flat, B flat to E, E flat to G. Wait, sorry, no, E flat to A flat, A flat to D flat, and then D flat to G flat. And so that's the line of fifths. Those are the keys. Because we know this by F major has 1 flat, B flat major has 2 flats, E flat major has 3 flats, A flat major has 4 flats, D flat major has 5 flats, and then G flat major has 6 flats. And so also, if you I went to 7 sharps on the right side, but I only went to 6 sharps on the left side. But the next one would be, think about it, it's C flat major, because like again you're decreasing by fifths. So yeah, but yeah, that's how you memorize all the keys. And then, you know, like I said, this technically loops around because indeed it is the circle of fifths. It's a circle. And this, I think this diagram is pretty well. Not only does it show you the key signatures, but also shows you the minor keys, and also for keys such as C sharp major or F sharp major, it shows you the enharmonic of it. Because like I said, because here, if you didn't notice, C sharp is the same as D flat major. C sharp major and D flat major are the same thing, except C sharp is just in sharps. So that's how it loops around, and you can keep on going until you loop around fully. But yeah, it does form a circle. As you can see, when you go clockwise, it's going from sharp, it's increasing in sharps. When you're going counterclockwise, it's increasing in flats. And it's pretty easy to have it memorized. You don't need to like have photographic memory and memorize this graph. You can just keep on stacking fifths. For example, if you know that D major has 2 sharps, which you should because it's the first scale you learn, D major has 2 sharps. If you want to know what key has 4 sharps, then you stack a fifth on it. What's a fifth away from D? It's A. What's a fifth away from A? It's E. And so boom, E major has 4 sharps. And also this graph also has the minors, minors too. So for example, A flat major has 4 flats. What's a minor third below? Minor third. Sorry. Yeah. What's a minor third below A flat major? It's F. So the parallel minor of A flat major is F minor. So yeah. That's kind of it. So, you know, a big part of this lesson, you know, I can tell you this stuff, but a big part of it is that you need to have this stuff all memorized. All of this needs to be memorized. I mean, you don't need to know every key, but you need to know the basic concept of it. Like, if I show you a key with 7 flats, what key is that? So try and figure it out right now. I'll give you like 2 seconds. It's C flat major. I was talking about it earlier. Close your eyes. What key has two flats? B flat major. What key has five sharps? B major. So, I mean, typically, you should have those memorized, but like, if you want to figure it out through sharps, then you can also do that as well. But yeah, that's everything you need to know. Just here, I'll go through it. So memorize this page. Take a screenshot if you must, or pause it. But yeah, memorize the intervals. You don't need to memorize this. Just know your scales. Yeah, same message trick. Memorize the circle fifths. So have this all memorized, and you'll be set for the basics of music theory.